Hi, this is Jeri Holt at the with Visualize Studio, and we are in the process of getting 3 prints transferred onto metal and getting them resin. And I promised a while ago in the process part on our webpage that we'd have a video on resining, and we have been a little slack in getting that done. But art resin, which we use as a 2-part epoxy, has asked us to do one and using their products. And what we have started to do in the process of the 2-part epoxy resin is use art resin. We started about 10 years ago with the 2-part epoxy, and the fumes and the touchiness of the whole process were very difficult because I always ended up with bubbles everywhere where I didn't want them. So when art resin came out with their new product with no VOX, which means the no toxic fumes, and the bubble release and all kinds of features that we really love, we started using it immediately, and it is great. We can pour it on. We use our gloves, as you'll see in a minute, and just smooth it around with our hands. In one of the other videos I've done, I said I like to finger paint. So I like to get into the resin and use it and put texture in it eventually, so that we have bubbles with our fish, and we have rippling water, and we have different resists and techniques that we can put on it for a surface. Today, these gold pieces that I'm doing are going to incorporate some gold dust and some gold flakes in the resin as I put it down, and it will be suspended in the resin, giving more and more of a 3D effect. Hi, we're starting the process of resining. Art Resin sent me 2 of these starter kit packages to do a demo for them, and this covers, as it says on the label, 8 square feet. I have 12 square feet with the piece, and since I work big, this is what we go for. We buy the professional kit resin and use that for projects because we go through a lot of it. And but I'm going to start with these, and we're going to do one at a time. Usually I would do all of them, but we are out of big buckets, so we have to do smaller batches. So first you start with the resin, and we also taped the backs of these with blue painter's tape, because you don't want the drips and the bubbles to go underneath and drip and hang down on the back of the piece. So this is a measuring, and I have 24 ounces in here, so I'm going to put this up to the 12-ounce level. And then we're going to do the second part, the hardener, and put that into the thing till we come up to the 24 ounce. So that means we have had equal parts of resin and hardener. At this point, then we start pouring, stirring them, and getting the two of them incorporated, and so that everything is mixed together and that the hardener will activate and cause this to come together. And we'll be back. Hi, I'm back. I've stirred myself to death here, and so now I'm putting some powder, gold powder in there, and mica powder, and we'll see what happens. Actually, I've never used this stuff before, but I've seen people who have, so we'll trust them. They also say that at some point, if you put metal flakes in the resin when you're blowtorching, you can set fire to it. So we may have some, as my daughter says, homemade special effects for the film. So I've stirred until it's thoroughly mixed, and now we're going to tackle pouring it. And basically, we just put it on and smooth it out. And get my hands in it. Like to work it on the edges so that I make sure it goes down over the edges but doesn't make a large mess underneath. And so it's very, very easy to use. The Art Resin brand has something in it that helps pop the bubbles, and it doesn't build up bubbles as much as the other stuff did. One thing, if you're starting this for the first time, and if you're putting it on paper, be sure you seal the paper. If your artwork is on paper or you're doing a poster or something, seal it with a spray. We use a lacquer spray we get in the hardware store, but you can use art sprays for sealers and so on, and that keeps the air that's in the weave of the paper, because paper does contain air pockets and things, water and air, and they can come out of it underneath the resin and cause some bubbles that will be there forever. And that's the biggest problem I had with the when I was doing the jewelry, is because I was putting an art piece underneath the resin and the piece of jewelry, and it was causing it to bubble terribly. And if you can see this, there are bubbles in the surface. They will eventually come out. Art resin is self-leveling, and so we'll fill in any little dips and doohickeys that I've got that I've accumulated here. I also always plan on doing 2 coats, because I want the depth and more of the glass buildup, and that allows me to do that. I am going to, well, I was going to take these off, but I think I will see how far I can get on the next one. I should have enough here to do the next one. It's the one beyond this that I'm going to have problems. So let's put this on this one, and get this one going. I I have leveled it, and it is on cups. That keeps it from sticking to whatever's underneath it, and makes it a little, stuff can drip off. So basically I'm looking at this first coat as kind of a sealant coat, and the other coats are going to add texture and depth and give it a more of a glass, under glass type feeling. All right, I play with it some more, but now comes the good part. We love to play with blow torches here. And so to take those surface bubbles out, just run a little heat over it. These are the bubbles that came in when I was running my hands through it. And any little bubbles that develop later on are supposed to pop by themselves. And the heat is, you don't want to heat it up. You want to just have it have the oxygen sucked out by the flames and the nitrogen or whatever comes back and forth. It's not the heat that does it, it's the gases that are being released. Those are the ones that pop bubbles. And if you get too close to the flames, you set fire to it. And it is interesting at times, but you really don't want to do that. Unless you're like us, and I like to do things like that. It gives an interesting texture. I have something up there that I need to. A little spot that didn't get any resin on it, so we'll pull some in from the surrounding area, and this will be good. Then they have to sit for 24 hours to get fairly hard, and 72 before they're totally cured. We go the 24 hours, then we put on another coat, then we go to 72. So that we have a finished product that is really outstanding. And I'm going to go through and take some of these flakes and put them around the edges, put them into the resin so that as they dry, they're embedded in it. And but I want to make sure I do them all at the same time so that they have the same distribution. Okay, well thank you very much, and that's what we do when we put the resin on. If you have tape on the back, take it off fairly quickly as soon as it starts, so you can handle it and flip it over. Take the tape off, because otherwise it will be permanently adhered if it gets resin in it. If you have any questions, you can contact me at the studio. And again, I'll say thank you to Resin for developing this product, and we love it. Thank you.